Space, the impossible frontier. All our lives we've been lied to. I mean, what do you think the fictional thing called space was invented? Why do you think religions were invented? You know, some people out there call me a religitard. I am not a religious person. Why would I be? I'd be going to hell if I was a religious person. If I stepped foot in a church, I know I'd be I go to hell. Okay? Religions are made of the devil who owns this world. He's the god of this realm. Okay? All you have is Jesus Christ, Christianity, true Christianity. Now, if you're a person who recently went to a church with your Christian friend, okay, if you went to a Christian church with your Christian friend, you don't have a Christian friend, and you didn't go to a Christian church. You went to a satanic church of Satan run by the satanic Pope of Rome and NASA. Do you understand that? And your friend has been duped in believing in this religion where they teach you the opposite of Christianity. Okay? And the satanic Pope of Rome's Christian church, they teach you to kneel in front of statues, which goes against God. They teach you to take bread with the Eucharist. That goes against God. They teach you to make the sign of the cross every chance you get, right? That goes against God. All right? They teach you to pray to the Virgin Mary. Oh, that extremely goes against God. Do you understand it? There's nothing they're teaching you that has anything to do with Christianity. And all the other religions are there to muddy the waters, just like space and, and all the cartoons and movies they come out with to brainwash you and coerce you into believing what they want you to believe. Now, the things I know is because it's 100% guaranteed fact, because I've been guided by God my whole life. You know, that doesn't mean I've been a rotten person all my life. I've dabbled in witchcraft with the Ouija board. And whereas people, don't understand it, you're not supposed to use the Ouija board. The Ouija board works 100%, and anybody can use it. And I've done it for years. And I can tell you stories after stories after stories how easily it is to use and get answers about anybody you want and know about anything you want to know. And where eventually you don't need the Ouija board anymore, and you can use your hands or your thoughts, and it just, you're possessed, is what you get, totally possessed. You are of the devil, but you're already of the devil when you're in this world. But I digress. Let's get into what I wanted to talk about, which is space and astronauts. Okay, astronauts are not real. Okay, scuba divers are real. Astronauts are not real. All right. Now, all this comes from the top of my head with absolutely no research, because the research you've already done since birth till where you are now with all the information that you have absorbed. So you just have to use your head, your noggin, and put these things together. So if anybody wants to come against me, you can't, because what I'm about to say, you're going to be like, wow, he's 100% correct. You can't go against what I'm about to say. What I'm about to tell you is if astronauts exist, then there would be absolutely no difference between an astronaut and a scuba diver or a deep sea diver, right? Because they both use oxygen, they both use suits. Now, if you're just going to be a regular scuba diver, anybody can do that, right? There's no special training to be a scuba diver. They might give you a 5-minute lesson on the boat, and then you go do your scuba diving, right? Now, to be an astronaut, that's a different story. They went out of their way to show you the great things they had to do to become an astronaut, which if you just take a second look at what they're doing, none of that is actually needed. And in the past 60, 70 years, there aren't any civilians going into space. Well, if you invented space travel, then there should be passengers in space. There should be TV men in space, newscasters in space, stars in space, making movies, documenting space. Casey Neistat, okay, a beloved filmmaker here in this realm, would be making a documentary of space because they would want to see that from him, because he would capture the essence. He would capture from the ground into space. But with all his connections, they will never let him do that. They will never let him document it because, one, space doesn't exist. Two, astronauts are phony. And, it's never been done before. Documenting the journey from the ground into space has never been done. Let me show you what I mean. Now, scuba divers are real. Why? Because a scuba diver holds his camera with his equipment on, and then he gets into the water. So you see him getting into the water with the camera. But an astronaut, which needs all this, who has to be highly trained, and I say they don't have to be highly trained. And people say, well, Max, what do you mean they don't have to be highly trained? Well, listen, to be an astronaut, all you have to know is 1, open the door. 2, sit down. 3, buckle the seat. 4, wait for somebody to push the button. Then when you get out, you're in space, you have your spacesuit on, open the door, and walk out into the spacewalk. That's never been documented. That's never been filmed. Do you understand that? Come to think of it, they probably have this, do you think they actually, when they are trained to be astronauts, they're like, now remember, don't turn the camera on until you get out the door. Of course, you weren't highly trained, so you have to be a highly trained astronaut, You already went to the step where you had to buckle the seatbelt, and you know what I'm saying? That was tough. And you know how to open the door, but we never trained you to open the camera before you walk out the door. You see what I'm saying? 60 freaking years, and that's never been done. But, people go deep sea diving and scuba diving, they take their camera right from the air to the water. You understand that, but it's never been filmed. And I would love Casey Neistat, if you're listening, please go to NASA and say, hey, I'd love to document it there. People, I'd get you tons, I'd get you trillions of dollars. With my movie, Casey Neistat movie, NASA will be fully funded for an eternity because I would film the essence of space. I would film from the ground into space. And my camera will be on as I'm in a astronaut suit, in a space suit. And you don't have to be trained to wear a space suit, okay? You zip it. You put it on, and then you go out the fucking door. Sorry, I had to curse at least one time. You understand that, right? There's no difference between, if astronauts exist, there is absolutely no difference between an astronaut and a scuba diver. You don't believe me? Go to NASA's website. And what do they do? They're training in a tank in water. It's wonderful. It's the same thing. But the only thing is, why do they need to train to do that? They don't know how to do that? You know what I'm saying? I could use my hands and my legs in space just like you do in the water. I don't need no freaking training for that. Well, let's get back to the story. So, Casey Neistat, he'd put his little spacesuit on, and he'll be making the pitch, and I'll be in the spacesuit, I'll show him how to put the suit on, getting to the into the envelope of space, and I'll take my special cameras that I'll design, and I'll put them on the nose of the spacecraft, and he'll go, which is weird, you've never done that in 60 years. See, as Casey Neistat, a really good filmmaker, I will put him all over that spacecraft, and there'll be no question that we went into the envelope of space. And there will be no parts that will be edited out. It'll be totally, fully, all parts will be documented. So there'll be absolutely no question of these assholes saying there is no space and no ISS, because I will record it all. By the way, everything I just mentioned, never been done. It's amazing. You see, so you want to come up against me, I have facts. That's what I just described to you, never been done. But you want to defend something that doesn't exist, something that no one has ever done before. And all they have to do is simply hold the camera, push the button, and turn it on before they go out the door. This way they see the spacecraft and the door opening, and then you can see the space and the stars and walking through the door of the spacecraft, which has never been done. I have to say it again. It's never been done. It never will be done. And if Casey Neistat, if you're listening to this, don't do it. Don't ask them. If you want to research what I'm talking about, keep your mouth shut. Don't mention it to anybody. Do your own research. Use a VPN. And if possible, use somebody else's computer to do your research work. Why? Because you and your lifestyle will be gone. Your subscribers, maybe your life, and, quite frankly, I don't even want to mention your family, because these people don't fool around. Somebody like you with the clout you have and the people, the notoriety that you have, you make a stink why NASA wouldn't let anybody come here and film space, and they'll probably come up with a good excuse. But if you push them, that's something you don't want to do. So I would avoid that 100%. I don't really want to see someone get killed. And quite frankly, if you don't take me seriously, Casey, it's your own death wish if you want to confront people and make videos saying I'm crazy, and then you're going to prove me wrong, because you're only going to find out that I'm right, and then that's bad for you and your business and for your family. You're not, the people that you know in the business will be threatening you, and your life would change forever. Because what I got is the truth. All right, and I got no PayPal account, no Patreon account. I don't ask for any money. Haven't done it since 2005. I've been doing this. There's people out there. As soon as they tell a couple of truths, they'll be like, "Oh, he knows something." They want to get paid. You understand that? Perfect example. Mia's new pair of glasses. Pfft, really? $200 for her website to be a member? $40 for her pants or whatever she's selling, and then she put her videos on private to scare you, and I didn't get enough money on Patreon. I'll turn it down when I get more money on Patreon, I swear. Okay, avoid that woman at all costs. Truth is free. You have a Google search on your computer. Use it. Don't need to pay anybody else to do it for you. You want to know about something? Search it for yourself on your own, on your computer. Use your own discretion, and get on your knees to confirm the truth. That's all you have to do. You understand that? The only reason why they fake space, the only reason why they tell you that there's astronauts and other worlds to go to, because what it says in the Bible is 100% correct. You got the heavens above and the hell below, and that's it. You live in a realm, it's a flat plane, and you can't go up. They've been trying to go up, they can't do it. All right? Casey Neistat, with all his clout, is not going to make any documentary from the ground to space or from the ground to the ISS. No one will be able to do it. You don't need any special training. If astronauts existed, you don't need any special training to get in an airplane, get in a seatbelt, wait for somebody to push the button to take off in the airplane. You finally reach your destination. It's the same thing with being a scuba diver. You don't need much talent for that. You don't need any talent at all to be an astronaut. If it was truly someone called an astronaut that actually went into space, there is no talent in that. You'd be the stupidest person on earth sitting there in a seat as a passenger. And you get out and you float around and you can't turn a screwdriver or a wrench to fix something, why would there be anything on the outside to fix? That's the dumbest thing. Seriously. But you know what I'm saying, right? The dumbest people, the people who would be astronauts if space existed would probably be the lowest paid assholes out there. Because there's no risk. No one's died in 60 years except they faked that one death when a space shuttle went there, and a couple other times. That's it. But countless thousands and thousands of hours and going to the moon and this and that, and then you have the ISS there for 20 years, still running and powerful enough, just like it was brand new, without any pieces of dust hitting it and making it blow up or anything. And then you got satellites out there that run forever when you can't have anything on Earth that runs. These things are flimsy, traveling at 17,000 miles an hour, and they never fail. They never, it's all a fictional story. Okay, we have all the evidence. We go over it over and over and over and over. What we tell you is the truth. It's backed up. You want to do your own stuff, go ahead and knock yourself out. But look, no one's been into space and no one will ever be into space. Not Casey Neistat, not me, not you, not no one else. Only these people who are highly qualified and in fastening the seatbelt buckle.
Well, Max, sometimes those buckles, they do pop open a little bit, and then the astronauts have problems pushing the buckle back.
There takes no experience to go into space. Just like it takes no experience to go into the water. Okay, I got a little boat ride. I go, oh, you got 5 minutes. I got to tell you how to do it. Oh, okay. I got 5 minutes before I go in the water. I got to listen to you. Oh, I put that thing in my mouth and I breathe. Oh, okay. I can do that too. You know, you're an astronaut. You put a fucking suit on, you open the door, I'm floating in space. Oh, I forgot to put the cable on. That was a dumb astronaut. You understand that? There's nothing the astronaut has to do out in space. He just has to open the door and step through. All right? And obviously, nothing that he has to do is make sure that there's no cameras on. Turn your cameras off before you leave the spacecraft, fellas. I remember last time you had that camera on and it was punchy in the face. We had to delete the footage. Remember that? Yeah, I know you. You understand that, right? Make sure there's no cameras on the top, sides, or any part of the rocket. Just facing down. And then you can't even see the footage of the rocket facing down for so long because the rocket goes sideways. You understand that? Well, we can't see the rocket anymore. Oh, you mean you didn't plan ahead and have somebody on the other side of the earth to continue filming the aircraft? That's a good idea, Mac. 60 years, you're the first one to do that. Oh, yes. You couldn't set up a space telescope or another aircraft or another something flying into space to continue the journey so you can have the damn thing televised on TV from the ground to the ISS? No, we usually do the first 5 minutes and then you can't see it no more, Mac. Oh, okay. You understand? 60 years, you can't plan ahead. Put a rocket above, filming the rocket below. Put something in space, filming the rocket coming up. Never been done. Hey, I'm on the space station. Here comes the... Never been done. Hey, hello, ISS? Yes, the rocket's coming. Can you turn the cameras on? No, we don't turn cameras on unless it's absolutely necessary. Oh, okay. Yeah. We believe, NASA. We believe. You understand that, right? Very secretive, very secretive. You trying to tell me that they can't plant another camera above, sideways, below, 100 miles that way, this way, use a telescope. Oh, 5 minutes. Oh, we lost footage. Yep. Hey, cut the commercial. Hey, got a good Nike commercial for you. Yeah, we lost footage of the racket first 5 minutes, and that's it. So we got animation. We got animation. You roll the animation. This is what it would look like if we filmed the fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Well, we don't film anything. We just go first 5 minutes, and then we just go to animation. And this animation, by the way, is from 1959. We can't afford to put new animation. Just watch the old footage. It's on YouTube, okay? You understand that, right? There is absolutely zero evidence of anybody entering a rocket and going into space. Zero. It's always, there goes the rocket. Well, the first five. Oh, we can't. We got lost communication. We got no more footage. We didn't set up the other camera down the road, and we didn't put a camera above. We didn't get another spacecraft or an airplane. Nobody's filming it. Just us. Oh, yeah, we lost connection on that. Really? You want trillions of dollars, NASA? Get Casey Neistat up there on that. Get 3 minutes of his time to teach him how to put on a fucking spacesuit, okay? He knows how to use a camera, and he'll mount cameras all over that freaking rocket. And he'll have his friends, all right, he'll have friends on other parts of the Earth to film the rocket in its entirety. And then he'll ask you to get an aircraft above, sideways, all around, also film the aircraft. And then he'll ask you, NASA, to film it from the International Fake Station. Or put another rocket that's floating in space, or a satellite, to film the journey of the envelope into space. And last but not least, film the asshole from the inside of the freaking spaceship with a camera in his hand, going through the door, and as you open the door, you can see the space, and then actually go into the envelope of space, leaving the rocket. Never, ever, ever been done. And never will. Well, I come to my conclusion on that information that cannot be debunked for all the money in the world, that there is no space. That is totally fictional. to hide the fact that we live on a flat plane, and everything in that Bible is 100% correct. The heavens are above, hell is below, and this place is run by the devil. Period. That's the secret. And if you're a flat earther and you just go, hey, flat, Patreon, PayPal, flat, you're going to hell in a handbasket, because they love when you spin your wheel like a gerbil going absolutely nowhere, when the truth that you need to know is to make a reservation to the good hotel instead of the shit hotel. Right? And the shit hotel down below, you don't need a reservation. You already got a reservation there right now. Everyone has a reservation for that place right now. What you have to do is make a reservation for the good hotel. That's it. That's the secret. That's what you have to know. That's connecting the dots from everything that you've learned since you've been a human being on this earth. Using your mind and connecting the dots as I do and as I just did. From 9/11 to Sandy Hook to Boston bombing to all the fake shootings that we can't stop. We can't expose it. We can't do JFK. We can't do 9/11. 17 years now. You want to prove the earth flat and you want to pay me on PayPal and Patreon and go to my paid website for $200. Mia's new pair of sunglasses. You stupid, ignorant person, you. Not her, not Mia. The people paying her for anything or anyone. And on that note, I'm done and done.
Okay, quick change, and I'm back out. It's really hard to hold my camera out like this with a tight suit on. Look, it's like stretching. On my way to the thing now. All right, thank you.
Maybe get a vest.
There's no car. There's no. Hey, where do I go if I want to skip red carpet?
So guest entrance is go straight ahead to your right.
I love your work. Thank you, guys. And then this is backstage here. And then this is the green room here. Pardon me, guys.
I would like to change Twitter.
Sean and I are hiding in the green room. But
Because it really prevents me from truly.
I'm presenting an award tonight. And this is my script.
Did you vote?
Okay, I'm gonna try to sneak out onto the stage now. Can I go out there now?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Favorite way to procrastinate. Yay,
The entire NASA family.
That guy's an astronaut.
Okay, now, hold on now. Just hold on a minute now, Casey. That's Casey Neistat, by the way. Yeah, he's not an astronaut, but see, Casey don't know that. This guy has never been into space, but don't take my word for it. Casey, why don't you ask him a question for me? Ask him exactly why, in the past 60 years, no one's took a handheld camera and placed it up against the window and said, here we are going in space as we enter the envelope of space. It's never been done, Casey. You know that, right? Better yet, how about you ask a very, very, very simple question to this so-called astronaut? All right? I would love to ask him why they never had any footage of the ISS being built in 1998. An historic moment like that. No footage exists. And in the past 60 years, no one's had a handheld camera, like I said, up against the window. But how about a very, very simple question where he should not get mad or his face should not turn red? Okay, very simple question. All you have to ask him is, listen, why? Why is it when you enter the envelope of space and you see the ISS for the first time entering space, why don't you take your camera, place it in the window, go, hey, I'm the commander, there's the ISS. This is us videotaping, video recording, this is video evidence of us traveling through space. This is us flying towards the ISS. Now, you should get a very simple reply. He should laugh and be like, wow, we do that all the time, but we never here's the footage. I have it on my cell phone. Here, take a look. Here's my cell phone. Here's the footage. We just never actually did it in the past 20. I would accept that. Oh, he's got the footage on his camera, you idiot. Okay? He would probably stutter. His face will turn red. And 2 big bouncers will probably escort you out of there. For a simple question. Why hasn't anyone put their handheld camera, cell phone, or any camera up against the window when you first lay eyes on the ISS and go, there's the ISS, we're flying towards the ISS in real time on my camera?
And I'd be the first astronaut to do that. And I'd be like, wow, he's the first astronaut to put a camera in the window. Oh my God.
All right? Then there's the truther assholes. I love the truther assholes.
Max, you make truthers look bad, make this face at space. And they're like, really? Yeah, you know they got the ISS, or just when it passes the moon, you can take a picture of the ISS passing.
So let me get this straight. This little tiny dot passes by there and it resembles something that they call the ISS. And that's all the evidence you need to prove to you that there's an ISS in space. Even though, mathematically and scientifically, you wouldn't be able to see that with your own eyes from the ground. It would be an impossibility.
But you would overlook that and call me crazy.
There is no video evidence. There is no recording of any kind since the dawn of space travel, of any handheld camera in any window at any time, or any handheld camera on an astronaut's hand as he's doing a spacewalk and doing a 360, going,
there's the sun, there's the moon, there's the Earth, or there's my rocket ship.
That's an impossibility. Has never been done. I got one for you. This world is of the devil and it revolves around kashish, moolah, money. So why hasn't anyone ever actually put a celebrity in space? In other words, make a commercial actually in space. Bring a football star or a basketball star in space. Take any movie star in space. Say, look, we're going to film a commercial. We're going to film something in space. A promotional in space. Make a lot of moolah. Be like, wow, celebrities in space. The Nike commercial actually done in space. Why haven't they ever done that?
Hey, man, it costs too much money.
Well, I personally will give $1. Okay? And if everybody donated $1, that's $8 billion. That's way more than they need to do that. We'll pay for our own evidence that they can actually go to space. You see, that'll never happen. But this world revolves around money. Bringing a celebrity into space, shooting a Nike commercial, they'll be like, dun, 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 dun. Sneakers flying in space, actors in space, celebrities in space, commercials in space, the moolah, the cha-ching, the national acclaim, the first time we made a movie in space, an actual movie about space made actually in space. Can't be done. You know why that can't be done, right? Because space is a fictional, made-up fiction. It's a fictional, made-up story made by the powers that be to prove to you that there's no dome above you, there's no water above you, and that's not the heavens above you.
That's space. And you can go to space. You can go to the moon. You can go to Mars. You can go to any planet you want, Max. Just, the sky's the limit.
But in the Bible, it says the heavens are above and there's a firmament above. And God forbid they backed up that story. Because you know what would happen? The biggest lie ever told, if you ask the devil, how did you do it? Well, how do you get 8 billion people not to put their nose in the Bible? Star Trek, right? Star Wars, space movies, aliens. That's how you get 8 billion people to keep their nose on the ground and keep their nose out of the Bible. Because God forbid they admit that they shot rockets up there trying to break this dome, and they found out that they can't go up and there is no space. Because if they told that truth, then everybody would be like, wow, that matches exactly, word for word, letter for letter, in the Bible. Oh my God! That would have 8 billion people scratching their heads, and they just might look at that Bible and the devil will be like, shit out of luck. You understand that? That makes his job a lot harder. So this lie of space has to be continually drilled into your head. And globes have to be continually put into school, into cartoons and movies, in the beginning of every movie. Any chance they get. So if you ask this asshole astronaut, why is it that no one's ever put a camera to the window of any spacecraft known to mankind as they travel towards the ISS, he can't give you an answer, and you probably get carried off stage because they've never been into space, and the ISS does not exist. Because if it did, that thing's been up there for over 20 years, and there's no video evidence of anyone traveling towards the ISS. Right? In the era of cameras and telephones, and since 1998 to 2018, no one has recorded their journey to the ISS, from the ground to the ISS, where there should be documentaries. There should be reporters gone through training just to report to you how they get from the ground to the ISS with HD high-def cameras shot inside, outside, the nose, the windows, all the way to the ISS. But what we get instead, we go,
We're in the ISS! We're here! How do we... Oh, we're here! Look, we're exercising in space. I'm brushing my teeth in space. I'm taking a shit in space. How'd you get here? Oh, man, why are you asking those questions? How'd we get here? We took a spaceship.
oh, you took a spaceship, okay. Can you record that journey sometime? Because I'd love to see it. But, the dum-dums, the Stunatigases, all right, of this world, this realm, okay? You can fool these people for millenniums, okay? They will never wake up. It's like, how many school shootings does it take for a populace of 8 billion people to wake up to the fact that they're staged? The heavens are above, you can't get into space. They fired rockets up there, they found out there's a dome, something that we can't get past, okay? And the Bible says the waters are above. They know this, that's why they fake space. That's why they fake Mars and other planets and aliens. Because that's how you fool 8 billion people not to put their nose into the Bible and say, wow, why does it resembles the Bible letter for letter? There's a dome, we can't go into space, there is no space. The Bible must be correct. That's how the devil does it. Doesn't get any better than that. That's how you fool 8 billion people. And to keep them that way, like I said, the supernatural war, witchcraft, blood sacrifices, you name it, that goes on behind closed doors in the middle of the night. You never even know about it. But simple questions, okay, this guy can't answer. that astronaut is not an astronaut. He's an asshole, but he's not an astronaut. Now, I like Casey Neistat, the guy who said, "Oh, that's an astronaut." I just started watching him this past month. He makes great videos. Now, could you imagine somebody like that waking up who has access to these numbnuts who could run into this guy and ask him a simple question? They're like, "Hey man, I really love to be. I always wanted to be an astronaut. I really appreciate the work you guys do. It's really great. Can you ask me a question?" "Sure, Casey. Why don't you guys? See, I'm a filmmaker. Because Casey's a filmmaker. If you don't know Casey Neistat, look him up. He has great videos. But this is the interview of Casey Neistat to this astronaut. If I was Casey Neistat, I'd be like, "Yeah, I always wanted to be an astronaut, and I'm a filmmaker, and I'm just wondering, can I ask you a few questions?" "Sure, Casey, I love your vlog on YouTube. It's great. You got 10 million subscribers. You're awesome. I will answer any questions." "Oh, great. Thank you. Yeah, see, since I'm a filmmaker, I would love to film this. If you allow me to come up into your spacecraft, I will film it from the ground to the ISS. And I have to ask you a question. Why haven't you ever put a camera into the window of the spacecraft when you first lay eyes on the ISS?" A simple question like that would just blow the lid off of everything because they couldn't answer it. Okay? What's he going to tell you?
It's top secret.
What's top secret?
Showing space travel.
Really? You mean if I look up and I accidentally see your spacecraft, then they'd have to take my eyeballs out because it's top secret? You see what I'm saying? How do you answer that question? Is it top secret not to show the footage of any spacecraft whatsoever going towards the ISS in space? It's like, "Oh, I can see the ISS. Here's my camera in the window. There it is. I'm going to the ISS." That's never been done in 20 years. All right, and you know what's never been done in 60 years since they've been in space? No handheld camera on any astronaut or any window on any spacecraft.
Only the retro rockets burning off.
Camera facing down, no camera facing up. The envelope of space. Once you get in there, the journey to the ISS. That'll never be shown because there is no space. It's fictional. It's exactly what it says in the Bible. The heavens are above, the firmament can't go up. Okay, the government's been caught firing rockets into the sky, and they can't break it. There's no floating. There's no space. There's none of that. Okay. What else do you want? And the answer to the question, how long does it take a populace of 8 billion people to wake up to the repetitiveness of these school shootings that happen on a daily basis almost today, one after another? How many does it take? Well, apparently we haven't reached that number yet, so it's in the thousands, obviously, since 2013, and it's not going to change. Okay? Even mice know how to get to cheese in a maze. These people are under a supernatural spell. The evidence is crystal clear. All you gotta do is open that article up that shows the shooting that happened today. It's clear as a bell that never happened. It's clear as a bell that they staged it. But if there's a spiritual veil, that's the only way the people cannot see it. Because the people who staged it are screaming, "We did it! We faked it!" And it's written all over this thing.
You know many of our high worship words. How?
In my land, we have a tribe like you.
Where is your tribe?
Up there. One of those points of light that you see at night.
Why are you here? Were you cast out?
You're confusing the stars with heaven.
You're confusing the stars with heaven. There are no planets. Yes. Star Trek. Love Star Trek. I've always been a big fan of Star Trek, and I still am today. I still watch it on Netflix, and that's where I'm picking up these clips. And there's so many more, but it's just really troublesome to pick up these clips. Every clip I could give you, I'd probably give you about a dozen of Captain Kirk trying to explain to other people, we come from another planet. We come from up there, from up above. And everybody's like, no, those are the heavens above. You know, it's like, this is what they're showing you, how they're brainwashing you, and every planet that he comes to, and they're saying, no, that's the heavens are above. There are no other worlds, and there isn't. There is absolutely no planets above us. There's just the heavens above. There's just lights in the sky. All right? You ever notice the moon when it's at its brightest and its closest? It's a bright white light, a cold white light. That's illuminating its own light. It's the light for night. That's the night light. You got the sun for the day, and you got the moon for the night. All right? If the sun was lighting the moon up, it would be yellow. It would be orange. You would also see the rays of the sun on the way to the moon, okay, which we never see. All right? That's another point. Now, the sun is not 93 million miles away. If it were, you would see the rays during different times of the night, you know, depending if it was hitting the moon or you know, depending on where it is. You would always see the sun's rays beaming someplace. The fact that we don't see any sunlight because our Earth is covering it, really? No. This thing is supposed to be 93 million miles away. You probably would always see sunlight if it was 93 million miles away. You wouldn't get direct sunlight, but you would see rays of sun someplace. Do you understand that? Let me put it to you this way. Whenever you watch Star Trek, or even the fake outer space missions in NASA, they never ever show you the sun. The sun does not exist. If the sun was 93 million miles away, and if they took their fake spacewalk or spacecraft, that sun would always be visible. It would not be hidden behind an Earth. All right? When you watch Star Trek, because they only made that show to convince you that there's planets and other life above us when it's only the heavens above. All right, this is just to hide God. They've been doing this for thousands of years. It's the same people. All right, when they're traveling into space, you know, Scotty be like, Captain, that'll take 3 months at high warp speed to get there. That's okay, Scotty. You can have some scotch on the way there. Aye, Captain. Yeah, but that whole 3 months, they never see any sun. Captain, why don't we see any sun? Well, Scotty, you know there's no sun until we get to a planet. Aye, Captain. No sun till we get to the planet. Aye. What are you, a retard? So the only time we can see a sun is when we get to a planet? Other than that, there's no sun? Okay? They can't explain this to you because the sun is right above us. Okay? It's very close to us. There's no other way it could possibly be. It can't be 93 million miles away. So when they're trying to fool us in these space, like any space movie you see, you never see the sun. Okay? They put people in suspended animation. They're traveling years Any space movie you watch, years to get to this planet, years to get to wherever they're going. They never see any sun. The movie could be 3 hours long and they travel 30 billion light years. Never saw a sun. Then they go, oh, we're here. Oh, here's the sun. So you're trying to tell me you never see any sun while you're in space, because they can't explain this. They can't show you, there's, oh, here's another sun, and how that works, because it's all fake. It's all made up. None of it's real. Okay, space is a totally fabricated, made-up story. It's total fiction. Okay? Whatever you see up above, there's no balls, there's nothing spinning, and we have evidence of this. And don't leave a comment, oh, look at what NASA showed us. NASA's all CGI and paintings. You've never seen a picture of Mars or the Mars spinning as a ball in real time from any satellite, because satellites don't exist. And when they show you a moving picture of Mars or any planet, or it's made up, and it always looks the same. Even when it's moving, it never changes. It's not real. You've been duped. You've been fooled. Okay? There are no spinning balls above you, and you don't live on a spinning ball. That's a fact. That's 100% factual stuff I just gave you. All right? They can travel for light years and not see any sun until we get to the planet. Hey, Captain, we got the sun on the planet. Very good, Scotty. We see the sun. So what about that high warp speed? You don't see any sun until you get to a planet? The planet just lights up. Oh, the sun is here. And then let's go to the next planet. Okay, you leave that one, and as the ship is leaving, it faces the other direction. No sun. Where is the sun? I'd love to know. How can the sun be 93 million miles away, and the only thing that comes in front of our flat Earth realm and the sun is our moon? I don't think I've ever seen. This is a good point that I'm making right now. Put this in your database, okay, and use this idea, because this is pretty good stuff I'm going to give you right now. The only thing that gets in the way of our sun and our flat Earth realm is our moon. Why is that? It's because the sun is right above us. If the sun were 93 million miles away, there'd be another planet eventually going in front of us, another moon, another something, a celestial body. Think about it. 93 million miles is a long, long, long ways. And that sun has never been duped by any celestial body, any moon, any planet. Not ever. The only time we have an eclipse is when the moon, our own moon, which is above us, and then the sun is above. They're both right above us. So you mean to tell me, in the history of mankind, nothing flies in front of the sun while it's hitting Earth? Ever. No moon, no planets, nothing. Things are flying through space at extreme speeds, changing all the time, and we have a clear shot. Nothing ever travels in front of the sun, including spacecraft. Right? So if there are aliens out there, well, the sun, it should be going in front of the sun at some point. There should be some kind of a planet going in front of the sun at some point. There should be some moon going in front of the sun at some point, because there's, how many galaxies there should be between here and 93 million miles? I don't know. First of all, galaxies are not real. So don't quote me on distances, because distances and math are totally fictional, made up baloney. Okay? This stuff is not real. All their calculations are just made up. None of it is real. They can't prove any of it. We've never been into space because space does not exist. Nothing exists above us except for the heavens. There's no playground for us to get into a spacecraft and go flying around, traveling anywhere. This is the deception. And the only reason why they do that, there can only be one reason, and that's to hide the fact that you are living you're a spiritual being living in a flat earth realm in a prison, and you can't escape it. Okay, this hides the fact that God exists, and we're the only creatures existing in this plane. That's it. And then you have all these flat earthers who are all against God. They're all antichrist. Okay, they all defy God. They sound so smart and know everything. They know we can't get into space. They know space doesn't exist. But the obvious answers that are right in the Bible, they tell you in the Bible the heavens are above, exactly everything's supposed to be, but they won't go there because they think they're duped. Okay? They said religion was made by the New World Order, and they're correct. But why did they make all these religions? So this way you pick one of them. Not only that, they made so many religions, they want to classify the one true God as a religion. So when these dum-dums think they're awake, they'll say, oh, all these religions, the New World Order made it. And they'll throw Jesus Christ in there. And he doesn't exist. And now they want to be their own man, their own person, their own thinking. I only take the word from me, moi, which is what? Exactly what Satan wants. Because when you say me, that's Satan. Okay? This is the New World Order thinking. This is what they want. They've trained you since birth to think exactly how they're thinking. Totally godless existence. But since they're so brilliant, they have to say, creator, I know there's a creator. And that's it. Nothing else but the creator. Who is that? They don't care who it is. They don't want to know. They just know something. See, to them, something created them. All right? Satan knows something created him too. The New World Order knows who created it. And if you don't reconcile with God, you're spinning your wheels on a flat earth realm trying to prove to people that this flat earth is real. But it doesn't do you any good. Let me explain to you this. How many conspiracies are there? Right? Who knows? Millions, billions, trillions? How many conspiracies that we're trying, from Sandy Hook to Boston bombing, all these hoaxes, from the school shootings, even the president, JFK getting shot, to Sandy Hook hoax, the flat earth, you name it, the 9/11, whatever it is, none of these conspiracies, they have, all of them have one thing in common. What is that? None of them have ever hit critical mass. What does that mean? That means not one conspiracy has been proven to the entire inhabitants of this flat earth realm. It's never been done. Okay? Say vaccines. Now, some truths are like, we prioritize. It's the vaccines we got exposed. No, it's the chemtrails. No, it's, something, right? Everybody picks one to say, this is the one we have to get. Which one went critical mass? See, no one thinks because they're godless. I'm the only one. I'm the only one that can think like this, because you have to set your ego aside and understand what's coming from God, not from the stupid internet. Do you understand that? No conspiracy has ever hit critical mass, has ever been stopped. Do you understand me? It's never going to happen. Now ask me why that is. And most of you people who follow me know the answer. This is a spiritual war. Okay? Until the day you die, you'll be fighting this. You have to fight evil. You have to tell the truth. But you're not going to stop it. That's an impossibility. Because whatever you do in this world, whatever you discover, it's supposed to lead you to Christ. It's supposed to lead you to God. Okay? Not supposed to lead you, we got flat earth and a creator someplace. There's a freaking creator. Oh, he's here someplace. We don't talk about him. We don't want to know. But what gets me the worst about I ain't gonna say his name. He goes and tries to prove that the Bible don't exist. He goes against Christians. He goes against God. They're antichrist. Every one of them. I can mention a handful of them. They're all together, and they're all antichrist. And then they point the finger at the New World Order, the satanic New World Order. Well, if you're not with Christ, if you're anti-Christ, then you're with the New World Order. But you don't know it. You can't be anti-Christ and not be with the New World Order. The New World Order, powers that be, Satan, Lucifer, the beast, his job is just to get you on his side. And if you go against God, then you lost. So if you're sitting there proving hours and hours and hours of flat earth with your buddies disproving God in Jesus Christ, and you say, well, we know we've been created, and look how smart I am, and it's me, do as I will, you're doing exactly what Satan wants you to do. You lost. You failed. Okay? Listen, none of your ideas are going to go hit critical mass. It's not supposed to. It's not going to. Only God can come back and change this. All truth comes out in the end times. That means flat earth is going to be known, and all the hoaxes, everything that's true will be known on the end days and not before. But people are waking up, okay? But it won't hit critical mass until the last days, because you can't have a flat earth realm with everybody awake to what's going on, because it can't exist. The devil can't exist. Do you understand? There's going to be some kind of explosion there. It just can't be. You can't have the entire population of this world being awake until the end. That's it. That's a fact. So anybody preaching about anything, and I hate to say, bring up certain people, but Max Egan really bugs the hell out of me. Now, I don't know what he does. I don't think he's a bad guy, but he's just as bad as the other people in Flat Earth. And he doesn't believe in a Flat Earth. And then he's like, oh, I can better prove that the Earth is a hologram. And he says this, but he doesn't prove it. He just says it because he hates Flat Earth. He truly hates Flat Earth and the whole idea about it. All right, and then he goes to prove what's on his mind, which will never be proven. We will never hit critical mass. So Max Egan is spinning his wheels, and then people don't understand what comes out of Max Egan's mouth. See, I know him. When I first got saved, I had a problem with him, and I had an argument with him because people are fooled. He won't say it, but he does not believe in Jesus Christ or the Bible. He says things about the Bible, but he doesn't believe in Jesus Christ. Okay, that's a fact. This is the argument I had with him. I talked to him. Do you understand me? That's why when he says, you got to abandon your belief systems, he's talking about Jesus Christ. He wants you to give up on Jesus Christ. This is from Max Egan. Okay? So if Flat Earthers and Max Egan both spinning their wheels on whatever they believe, on whatever conspiracy they're pushing, they're prioritizing, is never going to hit critical mass. See, the people who are truly awake understand this. So everybody's pushing a different conspiracy when you should only be pushing what? Say it. Jesus Christ. Reconcile with God. This is the only reason we're here. We all know we can't get into space. We know that we've been lied to. The only thing we should be doing is reconciling with God. And this is the furthest thing from any of the Flat Earthers' mind, the one with the big channels. They're all anti-Christ. And Max Egan will agree with that. He wants to be himself and push his own thing. And he goes against God. Max Egan is against God. He's anti-Christ. He thinks he's fighting the New World Order, but if you're anti-Christ, you work for the New World Order. It's as simple as that. Okay? Whatever good intentions this man has, or any of these people have, is just, you just might as well just buy a gerbil, put him on his wheel, and watch it for 24/7. Like, oh, here's the gerbil spinning on his wheel. Because that's all you're doing. Okay? And you can't tell me I'm wrong, right? Because what did I say? And what am I about to say? No conspiracy hits critical mass. No conspiracy hits critical mass, which means the entire population of this realm waking up to that idea that you're trying to tell them. It has never been done. It will never be done because there's only one way out of here. Okay? You're not truly awake until you're at my level. Do you understand that? You can cheer Max Egan and yay him all day long when he's doing absolutely nothing. Actually, he's going against God and working against God. He's antichrist. He's spinning his wheel on his own ideas, his own conspiracies, which he prioritizes has to go first. Doing absolutely nothing for anyone. If you're not leading people to God, then you step aside. You know, I'm not saying that the work he does is not good, but once you have to realize if you wake up to God, now you're like, oh well, he's antichrist. Then you move on, you forget about him. You only go to the people who are truly awake. You could use them as a stepping stone. You can use any flat earthers as a stepping stone, as an awakening. That's fine. But you have to come to a point and say, well, these people they're spinning their wheels and they're lost souls. They are lost souls. They're still lost. They're still asleep. And then you have to, if you have a voice like mine, you make a video pointing this out. Okay, we're all the same people. We all have to reconcile with God. I'm not better than any of these people I mentioned. I'm just more awake and trying to tell you that they're leading you now into the wrong direction because, the flat earthers are telling you there is no God, there's a creator, there is no Jesus Christ, and the Bible is wrong. This is what they're telling you. And they tell you this on a daily basis. All right? That's it. So when I make a video, I get this from God, right? I'm giving you the 100% truth. Now, anyone out there think that any of the things that these people are doing are going to hit critical mass and it's going to save mankind? Some work is good. I mean, you use them as a stepping stone, but you can't. At some point, you have to say, well, these people are not. They're going to be leading people astray because most of them tell you that the Bible is wrong and Jesus Christ doesn't exist. Because they don't fully understand. They're not fully awake. And I have to make that point. All right? And Max Egan's the same thing. He's against God. He's against Jesus Christ. Because he doesn't believe in Jesus Christ. And you always hear him say, you gotta get rid of your belief system. And he's talking about Jesus Christ. Get rid of Jesus Christ. This is what the man is telling you. He won't come out and say it. And he hates flat earth and he hates flat earthers. Because when in the beginning he was so irate, I witnessed it. Now he's starting to mellow out with it because you can't fight it. But he's human like everybody else and he's not fully awake. Max Egan is not awake yet and probably never will with his attitude. But on that note, I'm done and done.
Hey, Max Malone, I was a big fan of yours, I'm glad you're on our side now, This is going to be a historical event for us, A nice house, by the way. You really spent the money we gave you on really good, beautiful things, Not so many people really know good quality stuff and have really good taste like you, but welcome aboard. Welcome to NASA. NASA loves you, Max, and we're very glad to have you.
Well, thanks, fellas. I thought it was about time to make some cashish. Money makes the world go around. And what are you if you don't have any big coin in your pockets? You have to live this life to the fullest. Am I right, fellas?
Yes, Max. We're going to really do a good show today. And I got to tell you, NASA agreed to all your terms. You control the show today, where we show Dragon X docking with the ISS. Because you know it best, Max. Otherwise, it'll look fake if you don't do it your way.
You're right about that, and that's why they wanted me. Because, who knows better than Max Malone how to fake space, right? Now, first off, did they get all my demands? First of all, the people in the space station themselves, all right? I want these people to have cameras in their hands. I want these people to be at the windows recording this in live, in live time, in real time. Oh, Max, God, you gotta be kidding me. No, Max, we couldn't do that. What do you mean you couldn't do that?
Well, in order for us to have the crew film the Dragon SpaceX coming in real time, we'd have to make a full-size model of that, and it would just cost too much money. You know, the elites spend all that money on the billions that we get on cocaine and hookers. We just get the scraps, you know.
Yeah, I gotcha. So you're trying to tell me, you want me to narrate this little bullshit story? I told you, we need footage from the people on the ISS. Now I got to come up with an excuse to why there's nobody cheering on the ISS, jumping up and down and holding their cameras and high definition recording the Dragon X coming in towards the ISS. Now, what kind of excuse am I going to come up with? Max, just wing it, will you? Because you're going to go live in less than a minute. So you're going to have to think of something. I never should agree to this. Well, you took the money. You're a SEAL now. Okay? Once you take the money, we can kill you now. You know that, Max. Enjoy that money and come up with something. Yeah? You got 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8. Fuck it. You're live, Max. Welcome back. This is Max Malone reporting from space. We have the Dragon X coming in to dock in the ISS. This is an historical moment, and I want to thank NASA for welcoming me aboard to this monumental moment. And I'm very proud to be narrating this, watching the Dragon X dock to the ISS for the first time. Now, I was told that we were going to have the people in the ISS all lined up, taking high-def footage of the Dragon coming in, because, there's some cuckoos out there that think that, the ISS doesn't exist, but we all know better. It's an impossibility that space is fake and that we're faking the whole thing, and that's why I'm here to tell you, and I'm here to narrate to you and show you the evidence that NASA has that this is all real. And who better to do it than Max Malone? All right? Now, the crew, we were going to have the crew, take high-def footage and show the footage inside the ISS, and then they can lift the camera up and go back to the window and back and forth and go inside and follow the ISS windows and have all that. But, tragedy happened the night before. It turns out they opened up a bad can of, I don't know, I really forget what the food was. It might have been tuna fish, I have no idea. But they all got a bad case of diarrhea. Yeah, every single one of them, they all ate from it. They were up late celebrating Dragon X, Dragon X coming, and they were all going to get a good night's sleep. So they all woke up this morning with the baddest case of diarrhea. I mean, especially in space. I mean, it's horrific. I mean, it's a nightmare in there. So we covered up all the windows in the ISS because you don't want to see what's floating around in there. I mean, they have some really bad case of diarrhea in there. Very explosive cases of diarrhea. And you can imagine the smell that's in that capsule, in that space station. You don't want to be anywhere near it. So my heart goes out to those people on the space station. I know they would love to join in on the celebration and film the Dragon X docking to their space station, But they couldn't film any of it because obviously their hands are a bloody mess full of diarrhea, and the cabins they're busy cleaning the ISS because it's explosive diarrhea and it's all over the place. And we might have to send an emergency crew up there to help them clean it up. So, they might even use the Dragon SpaceX as an emergency capsule to escape the ISS and go back home. This is how bad it is up there. Seriously. There's talk of them all fitting into that little capsule and heading home because they might even just blow the damn ISS up. Literally extinguish the whole damn thing because it is that bad in there. Explosive diarrhea is nothing to be fucking, you gotta be very cautious with that, especially in space, So this is why there's nobody taking any footage of the Dragon X coming in docking to the ISS. And, you can't really blame them. You know, you really, it's a mess up there. It's terrible. Okay, hey fellas, where's the footage of the of this Dragon X? Oh, there. Thank you. Show the footage. Okay, now we got. Wait a minute.
What's the matter, Max?
The footage says HD in the corner.
Yeah, the footage says HD.
But it's worse than the moon landing. It's all blurry. Why?
Oh, we never have anything better than that. We just put HD in the corner. This way people don't get mad at us. You know, and then you have somebody like Red's Rhetoric, you know, make up some bullshit story why it can't be crystal clear like HD.
Oh, God, you guys didn't reach one of my demands here. You know, what am I supposed to do here? Why did you hire me to shill for you when you can't listen to one simple thing I say? You have to have at least HD footage. And you have to show some stars. You have to show something that this thing is in the realm of reality. You know, you can't use 1/8 scale horse shit anymore. You have to build the real deal. Okay, you're going to have to get a film set and build everything in full scale. That's including the ISS and the people inside the ISS watching this thing dock. This way you can have one smooth shot all the way through. Oh, we're still on the air? Oh,
never mind that. Don't worry. We're just fooling around a little bit, you know.
Yes, we have no HD footage of this thing. It seems the cameras on the ISS are broken. And, you know what? I quit. I'm going on my boat. You guys want to shoot me? Go ahead. I'm done and done.
Bye.
Truth hidden in plain sight. Although we never had the capability of breaking through what we call the firmament and what NASA calls space, because there is no space. In this video, I will show you that space does not exist, and all that's above are lights, and the heavens are above. No one's ever been into space. The ISS doesn't exist. The craft and the professor of this video do exist. His name, Auguste Antoine Picard, born 28th of January 1884. He was a Swiss physicist, inventor, and explorer known for his record-breaking hot air balloon flights, with which he studied Earth's upper atmosphere and cosmic rays, and for his invention of the first bathysphere, in which he made a number of unmanned dives in 1948 to explore the ocean's depths. In 1931, Professor Auguste Picard, a physicist, took the first balloon flight high above the Earth to the stratosphere. In his pressurized aluminum gondola, he reached 51,000 feet, about 10 miles in altitude. In his words, he said, "It seemed a flat disc with upturned edges." I repeat, in his own words, Picard in 1931 says, "It seemed a flat disc with upturned edges." Now, this has been hidden from us. I mean, who ever even heard of this guy until now, until all the flat earthers are researching and found him. Otherwise, you're not going to look in no history book and find him until maybe now. But no one has been into space, and everything you've seen in that commercial is 100% the reality of your existence. Although we don't have the technology to break through this firmament, and trust me when I tell you, God will not allow us to ever have the technology to do so, because above us are the heavens above. This is what we're finding out in reality. This is why we say, you know, this is why when people ask us what is so important about flat Earth, I mean, it's the most important thing other than God. Well, God and the flat Earth are one. To know the Earth is flat and there is no way into space, and space is just a made-up fiction brought to you by the New World Order and NASA, the powers that be, Satan himself. This is who written this fiction. All right? To hide this truth, I mean, if you really knew that the heavens were above and there's a firmament and you cannot, and space doesn't exist, you wouldn't be asking what is the importance of a flat Earth. You would already know. You would be in awe. People who ask what is so important about Earth being flat don't believe the Earth is flat. They don't see it. Their eyes aren't open. It is the biggest truth and the biggest lie, hiding God from man. There is no space. There is no traveling to Mars or Venus. These are just lights in water. Alright? This truth is not meant to wake up the world. Either you're gonna be awoken by God and helped by your fellow man, or you're not. The true people asleep, the really people who are fast asleep, are the ones spreading all the New World Order horseshit, who put out video after video. As soon as the New World Order makes a video and they say, oh, we're going to retaliate and tell the real truth. You work for the New World Order when you do this. That's why I no longer do that. I came to the point where, when I saw everything as to being a hoax, and I was right. So for me to go to Mail Online and to continue what I was doing is backpedaling. Okay? I am awake now. I am not like all the rest, and I mean all of them out there working for the New World Order, because you're drumming to their beat. They know you're making videos, so when they put out information, you got to keep that in mind. That means they want you to talk about what you're talking about. Okay? They cannot lie to us, but they have to that's why they have to put the truth in plain sight. And you people don't understand that. Just like the rappers, the rap music, and all the musicians, and they say, look at all the stuff in the music videos. Yeah, look at all the stuff you put in your videos. And then you have a website, and now you're just like Alex Jones. Do you understand? I'm fully awake, and the rest of you are not. Do you understand me? Okay? You people are silly to me. And I pretty much mean everybody I ever fucking did work with. They all have their heads up their ass, putting out video after video. They have not a fucking clue of this realm. Alright? The heavens are above. You were put here in a prison. And somebody says, Max thinks this is a prison, right? I was in a chat room. Flat Earth and other hot potatoes, and she goes, oh, Max says in the chat room that he said this is a prison, and they're laughing, oh, ha, 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 whatever the reply is horseshit, because they don't understand. Okay? You were not put here to go out and have a fucking great time. You were put here to be punished. you put here to reconcile with God. And all these flat earthers don't understand this. They think they found God now and they don't have to pray to Him, talk to Him, or mention Him. They said, Creator. Okay? You have not found God if you're calling Him a Creator and saying, God bless. It goes beyond that. My evidence is because I cried out to God and I asked God to show me Himself, and He did. Unless He gives you the eyes to see and the ears to hear, all right? I've seen demons in the eyes of all the newscasters and anyone on TV who was demon possessed. And one of the first ones I saw was Donald Trump in 2011. And people scoff and laugh at me when I keep bringing this up because they don't believe it. You want to know that the scriptures are real? You go to the Jonathan Kleck's channel, okay? I was saved by God through Jonathan Kleck in 2011, and I was given gifts, the eyes and the ears to see. And that's when I figured out the moon was not what we thought it was. You cannot land on it. It is an illusion. It's just a light. What we call a hologram, but not really, because we don't understand what it is. All right? And there's people, and I'd love to mention their names, but they're complete fucking idiots, and what difference would it make? They would just attack me. That don't understand this and mock me. I truly have awakened. Alright? This is a prison. God didn't put people on this earth born with no arms and no legs, so you can come up and say, oh, this is not a prison. Okay? Who took the arms and legs off this person and was born with no arms and legs? That person doesn't have the same chance as you. We all have different circumstances, but the one circumstance is this is a prison. And the person who took the arms and legs off this person is Satan himself. He controls this realm. This is his realm that God allows him to take control of. You are not put here to have a good time. You are not put here to go traveling space, which does not exist. Okay? What is a prison? A prison is something you cannot get out of. We cannot go above. The heavens are above. Alright? And all these people who are atheists, it's just too bad. And especially the people who are still using the Ouija board. The Ouija board works 100%. I used to use it for years. Alright? And I can go in depth on that. But you're talking to demons. And the same thing with remote viewing. You're talking to demons. You're getting powered by the devil. Okay? That's why when you predict something and it doesn't come true, it's the same thing with the Ouija board. They're lying to you. You're not supposed to use your fucking third eye. Okay? These are of the devil. The Ouija board and remote viewing are the exact same thing. And the exact same thing, another exact same thing, is blood over intent. It's satanic. It's just, it's the devil. When you do this blood over intent thing, you look like you're fucking in a trance. All the people who have done this, who have made videos, are in like a trance, a demonic trance. Yes, they're going to give you information that sounds right and it may even be true, but it's a deception and you should not be doing it. Right? They're all saying, oh, we gotta lead into the center, lead and follow the north. Go ahead, go there. How are you going to get there? They're so demonically possessed with their horseshit, they don't see it. It's the same as the Ouija board, the same as remote viewing. These are things you stay away from. And stay away from these people because they'll get you entrapped in their horseshit. Alright? You're in a realm. The heavens are above. The firmament is above. They're just lights. There is no Venus, there is no Mars, there is no Pluto, but they exist only in light form as the sun and the moon. There is no dark side of the moon. There are no spinning balls in space. This is 100% a prison, a realm you have to reconcile with God. We were once gods, and we shall die like men. You understand that? You want to understand scripture, go to the Jonathan Kleck channel. If you have any questions, you ask him. There's a lot of truthers out there that read the Bible and they don't understand it. There's another truther out there, actually a flat earther named Jeranism. almost every video he does, he tries to disprove Jesus Christ. And the warning to Jeranism, you don't know what you're speaking of when you do this. All right? The reason why you don't understand the Bible is because you don't have God. Without God, you're not going to know a damn thing in that Bible. I don't recommend anyone reading the Bible unless you pray to God first. You'll never understand it. If there's anything in that Bible you don't believe, you go to Jonathan Kleck and he'll explain it to you 100%, and you'll have no doubt. I haven't read the Bible, but what I know of the Bible is what God shows me. It's a long story. I always said, just because I used to have to battle the Bible thumpers who have no clue of what they speak of. All religions, all churches are of the devil. It's satanic. Okay? They created the religions to drown out Jesus Christ and the Bible. They made everything look similar and the same, and they had. And this is all a deception. There are no religion. There's no true religion. There's just Jesus Christ. There's just God. That's it. God is not a religion. God is just your Lord and King. You called your parents, your father, your mother a religion. My Father in heaven is not my religion. That is my Lord and King. He exists. We were once gods and we will die like men. Do you understand that? Alright? We're all guilty. There's not one person out of the 7 billion, if there's 7 billion people on this earth, that are more guilty or more sinful than another. And people who don't know God will not understand this. That's why they don't understand why God can forgive a murderer. Because every person that is birthed into this demonic realm are 100% guilty of going against God. So your only thing to do in here, no matter what you do in here, is just to reconcile with God. It's almost like a recreation or a, what do they call in Star Trek? How they test a computer frequency out first, like a computer test to see if it would work in the real life. It's not real. That's what people don't understand. They think, oh, I'm better than this person. They point that little fucking finger at you. I am better than you. No, you're not. You've been put in here and found guilty. We're all guilty 100% of the same exact thing. That's why we are here. All right? And that's why sometimes the people who do the worst things, those are the people that truly find God. Simulation, that's the word I'm looking for. It's a simulation. God, this is created for us just to get back and reconcile with God. And whatever you do in here doesn't matter as long as you get back with God. And that's why people don't understand it. And that's why they point that bony little fucking twig finger at you and say, I'm better than him. Because they're godless, they're moralists, and they have no Lord and King. And they think they've done no wrong. They don't understand they've been put here to be punished. They've been put here in prison. And the heavens are above. Right? I was saved by God in 2011. And I could tell someone who's saved and who preaches the truth because I'm one of them. We talk the same, we act the same, we do the same things. We're on the same page. People who don't know God, they don't understand, they can't see anything. They're still in this realm. They still want the wants of everybody in this. I don't want to be here. I don't want anything. I'm bored. I can't purchase something to make myself happy. I don't want to be here. There's nothing in this realm that I like. Because once you find out it's a prison and you know that you've wronged, we were once gods. All right? I'm pretty sure we created man in our own image. And God put us in those bodies and said, okay, you went against me, now you are one of those people. And he put us in this realm. All right? We went against God, the devil leading him, and that's why we're here. We're all angels. We have no memory of what we used to be, but we were once gods, and now we will die like men, and then enter a second death after this, depending whether or not you reconcile with God. This is a truth that you can only come to if you know God. You have to save yourself. That's the only thing. You're not here to change the world, change the realm, change the prison. It can't be done. You would be the first person, in your pajamas behind your computer, going up against the principalities to do so. You don't have the authority or the power to do that. Do you understand me? If you're banging your fist against your fucking computer table saying, I can't stand up, we're gonna stand up, people, come on, we gotta fight back. No, we're not. You're not gonna fight these people. Alright? Doesn't mean you're not gonna stop telling the truth or warning people, because you're supposed to talk to anyone who will listen. But you must know, this prison, it's exactly what it's a prison, will not change. You can't change it. It's run by the devil. They want, the more people that come into this realm, the more power Satan has. That's why sex is the biggest thing on this earth, because it's power and the souls. The more souls that come into this prison, the more power the devil has. That's why on a subconscious level they want you to reproduce, because that's how you get into this realm. Your birth into this creation that I think we had a hand in making. We were once gods and we will die like men.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray right through the very heart of it. New York, New York. I want to wake up in a city that doesn't sleep and find I'm king of the hill, top of the heap.
This is Tranquility Base. The Eagle has landed. Jesus H. Christ, Houston. We're on the fucking moon. Over. Roger, Tranquility. We copy that. We cannot believe you are on the fucking moon.
If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York. In a city that never sleeps and find I'm a number one, top of the list, king of the hill, a number one. These little town blues, oh, start of it in old New York. And if I can make it there, I'm gonna make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York.
Abso-fucking-lutely am standing on the surface of the fucking moon. Jesus H. Christ in a chicken basket.
Okay, Google, what is the distance between Japan and California?
California is 8,617 kilometers from Japan.
Really? And listen to, a second, this thing is bringing it up. That's fantastic. But it's not that fantastic because everything that's ever been built, everything that's ever been calculated or measured is in a giant database. Okay? And all you have to do is ask Google, it recalls this database and brings it up. There's not a building, a square footage of a building or a footage of a building that's not been databased. Anything that's ever been built, ever been measured, let me repeat what I just said. Anything that's ever been built and has ever been measured is in a database. You don't need a calculator or a formula to come up with curvature, because every single letter, every single number, anything that's ever been measured is already in a database and can be easily brought up to you by Google just by going, okay, Google, what is the distance between Italy and Japan?
Japan is 9,723 kilometers from Italy.
And how tall is the Eiffel Tower?
The Eiffel Tower is 984 feet tall.
Amazing. You just know it so fast because it's in a database. Right? That's all it is. Okay, Google. How tall is the World Trade Centers?
According to Wikipedia, at the time of their completion, the Twin Towers, the original One World Trade Center, at 1,368 feet to 417 meters, and Two World Trade Center, at 1,362 feet to 415.1 meters, were the tallest buildings in the world.
Nice. All right. Okay, Google. What is the distance from New York to California?
If you drive, California is 2,913 miles away from New York.
Amazing. So anything that's in a database. So if an engineer builds something, it's going to be in a database. No matter what it is. I don't care. You name it, it's in a database, and you can easily, in a second, bring it up on Google. You see my point I'm getting to, right? But the second you ask it a very simple question, because we've been in high technology for years now, and everything's been measured. There's nothing that hasn't been measured. Every square inch of this realm is in a database. You got it, folks. But why is it when you go, okay, Google, what is the curvature from New York to California?
Here are some results from the web.
See? What do you get? Earth curvature calculator. You got to use an Earth curvature calculator. It's not in a Google database. You understand that? But the problem with curvature calculators, you could program that to just about anything you want. You could make a donut and have your Earth curvature calculator of a donut, a grapefruit, a golf ball, a basketball, anything you want. And in no way, shape, or form does it give you curvature of anything. You understand that? Why is it that when people Google the curvature from New York to California, that they can't have an answer? Just like you can Google the distance between New York and California. Do you understand that, right? Because it's not in a database. Once you put that information in a database, it'll screw all the other information up. You understand that? It'll be clear as a ringy-ding-ding that there is no curvature once they start putting that into a database, because they would have to actually make it up, because there's no engineer that had to build a building and go, I got a half a curvature. because engineers already admitted they never account for curvature. No matter what you're building. If you're building the World Trade Center, don't have to put the calculation of the curvature of the earth in, right? If you're building a railroad, ironically, you don't have to know the curvature of the earth to build a railroad. You don't have to. You know, nothing has ever been built that they had to know the curvature of the earth because it's always flat. Ask engineer, it's always flat. We always use the always flat rule. You see what I'm saying, right? But after all these years, you don't think that Google would know the curvature from New York to California? Because once they put that in a database, it's over. Because it's going to screw everything up, wouldn't it? That's why they use a calculator, and they'll be like, the calculator, the formula was wrong. It's always wrong because there is no measurable curvature. If they can measure curvature, when you ask Google, what's the curvature from New York to California, they would give it to you. It would be on maps. Now, if you ever noticed, if you looked at a regular paper map, latitude, longitude, anything that has to do with any kind of numbers telling you about any information is on there. The only thing that's not on a map is the curvature of the earth. Now, if you buy a globe, you would think if you buy a fucking globe, it's going to have the curvature of the earth on it. No, they just make it round, and that's it. Then if you want to know the curvature anyway, you have to go to this flat earth curve calculator. By the way, all right, at this point, the audio from my camera got all distorted. I probably had my finger over the microphone. Plus, I think I got a little irate, a little angry, and I think I was cursing way too much anyhow. But back to the point of this flat Earth curvature calculator. Well, they call it the Earth curve calculator. They have to use this curve calculator because it's the same distance. They just go by how many miles. Okay, they don't go by from Italy to Japan. Okay, it's because according to them, the curvature is the same no matter where you start. It's just always the same, even though they're saying you're living on an oblate spheroid, so it wouldn't be the same. You understand that, right? If the Earth is not perfectly a sphere, then you can't use a Earth curve calculator. You understand that? That's why we go back to the good old thing where Google has everything in a database, so anything that's been measured would be in a database. It is an impossibility not to have the curvature from Italy to Japan, if indeed the Earth was a spherical ball spinning in space. You understand that? Okay, there's no way around this. Google should have these statistics, even now. All right, so why don't you write Google or write to your government and say, look, why don't you put the statistics in there and show Max Malone he's an asshole? They can't. They cannot fake those numbers. Okay. If you go to a flat Earth curve calculator, it doesn't matter what state to state, what country to country, because the numbers will always be the same. They just go by the distance. That's what an Earth curve calculator does. It goes by the distance, and that's how much you should or should not see behind the curve. It doesn't tell you the curvature of the Earth. Okay, a Earth curve calculator does not know the curvature from Japan to Italy. It only knows distance. So you're trying to tell me that the curvature is identical no matter where you are on this spinning ball? Well, if you talk to all the scientists, they'll say, well, it's not the same because it's an oblate spheroid, it's a little chubbier in the middle. So you can't have the same curvature. Yet they use a curvature calculator to fool the really stupid people. Oh, there's a curvature calculator. But you're just typing in miles. So no matter how many miles it is, it's the same distance from Japan to California. It's the same distance as, Austria to this. You understand they're only going by miles and not detecting any curvature? Do the smart people get this and the dum-dums don't understand what I just said? You can't go by a calculator. Calculators don't tell you curvature from Japan to California. You're not a perfect sphere. If we were living on a sphere, it would not be a perfect sphere. So there is no measurements. Even if you use an Earth curve calculator, there are no measurements that would pertain to California, to Italy. You understand that? Because according to the Earth curve calculator, they're only going by miles. So no matter where, so if you want to know the distance, the curvature from Japan to Italy, you go, how many miles is it? It doesn't work that way. That's not the curvature. That's just a calculator giving you you can't have the same curvature. The same miles should not equal the same curvature. You understand that? Because the curvature should be different. It's not a perfect sphere. So there are 0 measurements, 0 numbers, 0 information in any database. It does not exist. You can't use a Earth curve calculator to distinguish curvature from Italy to Japan. Okay? We all get that, right? A 2-year-old understands that it didn't work. It's a no-no. They're only going by miles. If it's an oblate spheroid, the curvature is different from every country to country. You can't punch in 50 miles or 50 miles all around the world. It's the same curvature. It's not the same curvature. Curvature does not exist, otherwise it'd be on maps, it would be on Google, it would be a statistic, it would be in a database. There's nothing in this realm that's not in a database. The only thing, and I mean the only effing thing that's not in a database is curvature. And curvature calculators don't give you the curvature of the realm you live in. They can only give you, it's 100 miles. This is what the curvature should be. So you don't know the curvature from Japan to Italy? Well, if it's the same distance from this country to this country, then it should be. No. We should know the curvature from city to city, country to country, state to state. It should be on a map. Just like we have longitude and latitude. How did they figure that out? You understand that, right? With all modern technology today that exists, there has $1 trillion to anybody who's ever measured curvature or has any evidence of anybody measuring curvature. And you can't use a curve calculator. I just told you why curve calculators don't work. It's 100 miles that curvature should be. No, you live in an oblate spheroid according to what's his name, right? To all the scientists. The Stonads. So the Earth curve calculator has everything against it. There's nothing for it. Nothing proving that this thing is in any realm of any reality. You understand that? Now, flat earthers use the Earth curve calculator all the time to disprove the sphere. Because whatever numbers you punch in there, the calculator says, you shouldn't be able to see such and such. It should be 2 miles, a whole 2 miles behind the curve. And what happens is we always see whatever we're trying to find in its entirety because the Earth is flat. Okay? All the time. So whatever this Earth calculator does, it doesn't do very well because that's 10 miles below the curve. Oh, why are we seeing it? It's a mirage, of course. You know. Every day? Sometimes it's every day. I mean, sometimes it's every day. I mean, what kind of lies are these people coming and the assholes? Yes, it's a mirage, man. It's kind of new sensu. How stupid are you people? I don't understand. If you research flat Earth, you would know that flat earthers use this curvature calculator like on a daily basis to prove it wrong. Because it's just a mathematical equation using numbers which has nothing to do with the Earth. So it's so easy. They use it every day. Well, it's 50 miles. We're supposed to see this such and such below the curve. And we see that building. We see that lighthouse. We see that, that land mass. We see everything. No matter what it is, we always get something to zoom in with it. A camera that zooms in on it. The Earth curve calculator has nothing going for it. It's a big zero. If the Earth had a curve, or any curvature, it would have been measured 1 billion times over, since we have the technology to do so. And for the idiots who say we should see further because if the Earth is flat, no, you're wrong. Okay? We cannot see vast distances. First of all, your eyes can't see it, and the moisture in the air builds up over miles and miles, 10,000 miles, and 10,000 miles. The water in the air makes everything unable to see. Let me put it to an easy where numbskulls can only understand. How far can you see in the fog? That's water. All it is water in the air. It's moisture in the air. Okay? So if you're driving in the fog, what are you going to see? You can't see 5 feet in front of you. That's the same thing by looking in a telescope, vast distances. Okay? That moisture builds up and builds up and builds up, and it hides whatever's in front of the lens. Okay? So the Earth is only 5 feet long in the fog? Is that what you're going to say? Is that how brilliant you are? You understand that, right? Okay? Flat Earthers researched this years ago. All these stupid questions that people keep regurgitating, these are new people or dumb people or people trying to screw with us. Everything has been answered. We left no stone unturned. All your answers, all your questions could be answered. So if you leave a stupid comment saying, oh, wait a minute, it's already been answered. Everything's been answered. And some things haven't been answered because we don't know everything, but very few things have been unanswered. Okay? There's two things you got to know. Okay? There's nothing in any database that gives you curvature. Curvature's never been measured. If it's not in a database, that means the curve has never, ever, ever been measured. I'll tell you another thing that's never been shown. Okay, let's get to this is flat Earth for dummies. I mean, for real stupid people. It's so plain to see. I just proved to you there's no curvature of the Earth in any database. Now, I'm going to prove to you that space does not exist. If space existed, okay, check this out. This is for really stupid people. It's really easy. And here's another, $1 trillion for anybody debunking what I said before and what I'm going to say now. $1 trillion. Doesn't matter how much money you offer, people can't debunk this. Why hasn't anyone, since the beginning of space travel, sent an astronaut up with a handheld camera, opened the door of his spaceship with his camera running and walked through the threshold and just spun around and go, oh, sun, moon, stars, spaceship, Earth. At the 360. That's never been done. Now, that's 60 years it's never been done. Now, if space existed, the first astronaut in space, the first 10 seconds, not 60 years, the first 10 seconds. Yes, not what, here's my camera on, here's me turning, sun, moon, stars, spaceship, Earth. That would be the first 10 seconds. If astronauts really existed and astronauts really went into space, the first time, the exact first time in space, doing a spacewalk, the first 10 seconds, not 60 years. 60 years, nobody's done what they said. But the first 10, this is to show you how ridiculous space is. It's a totally made up, fictional bullshit story to keep you blind, dumb and blind to the reality that you live in. Okay? The first astronaut, the first 10 seconds in space, a handheld camera, 360, it takes like a half a second to do a half a turn, right? Go, oh, sun, moon, stars, spaceship, Earth. That's never been done. The first 10 seconds of being in space 60 years ago, that's what would have happened if space existed. But how much time has passed? Okay? A day, 2 days, 3 months, 3 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 40 years ago. Oh, are we going to do a sun, moon, stars, spaceship, Earth today? No, we forget our camera. Oh, that's in 40 years. 45 years, 50 years, 55 years, 60 years. Are we going to do it? No, we don't have the technology. I mean, what is stopping them from doing what I just said? The first 10 seconds of man being in space 60 years ago proves space does not exist. There could be no other answer. Now, $1 trillion or any amount of money you want, we'll write the check. For video footage of an astronaut going, here's the sun, here's the moon, here's the stars, here's my spaceship, here's the Earth, bingo, bango, wango de tango. $1 trillion would be offered in your hand, signed. Here's your $1 trillion, sir. It'd be so easy for you stupid people to believe, oh, there's got to be footage of that. No. Space, listen to this, space does not exist. The heavens are above, hell is below. You got a firmament. Earth is flat. It's a realm, not an earth, by the way. It's a flat plane. That plane's right, that fly around, plane, flat plane, earth plane, flat plane, airplane. It's a plane. Airplanes fly above a plane. That's what they call it, a plane, you freaking morons. Flat earth for really stupid people. Stick to those 2 points. In the future, they will not give you an astronaut with his camera running, walking out the door of his spaceship, doing a 360, going sun, moon, stars, spaceship, and Earth. It's always, oh, we're looking down at the Earth. Oh, it's amazing how the astronauts just float on their bellies and can't turn around. Just like an upside-down turtle on Earth, they can't turn over. What the fuck? Really? First 10 seconds of being in space 60 years ago, I want to go, oh, I'm Max Malone, I just got into space, last 10 seconds, and here's the sun, here's the moon, here's the stars, there's my fucking spaceship, and there's the Earth. That's never been done. Really? And you're going to argue, oh, Max, you're really stupid. Space exists. No, it doesn't. It never has. It's a fictional, made-up story, like everything else in this realm. It is too easy. It's too easy. So $1 trillion, anybody want $1 trillion? Show me video footage of what I just said. Astronaut with his camera running, going through a door of a spaceship going, sun, moon, star, spaceship, Earth. Done. Something they should have done the first freaking 10 seconds in space, man. They can't do it.
The ASS. We can see the ASS.
Hey, asshole. No, you shouldn't be able to. If you use real science,
you shouldn't be able to see that dumb thing, you retard.
What's wrong with you? That's the time you do real science. You should not be able to see that tiny little freaking thing by the naked eye or anything. Morons. They put something up there no matter what it is. It's not an ISS and it's not in space, but they're fooling you with something there. It is not the ISS. Because if the ISS existed, they would have showed you footage of it being built. That would have been nice. They would show you anybody working on the ISS on the outside doing a 360. That thing's been there for 20 years. And no one said, let's turn the camera on before we go out the door. No! Let's just go, oh, there's the Earth. We're floating above it. Really? There is no ISS, and there is no satellites, and there is no space, and there is no astronauts. Wake up. Don't be stupid. Okay? I'll write a blank check. I'll sign it. Put the amount of money you want to be owed when you debunk me, you idiot. Because whatever I said today, no matter what retarded comments will be coming up, you can't debunk what I said. It's an impossibility. I am done and done.